I think we're too hard on ourselves nowadays. From when I woke up today, I thought about how hard it is to grasp happiness and how to hold on to it and how to keep it to you. And I realized that for a lot of us, we are happy until we were told otherwise. Until we're told by other people why we shouldn't be enjoying the things we do. And I wanted to make a counterpoint to that. What specifically comes to mind is how I used to enjoy video games as a class, as a category of activities to do as long as we're kids, right? As long as we were, the ages of 6 through maybe 18, we are given blanket enjoyment of most things, including the newest AAA game or Flash game that came from your favorite indie creator or all that such. And eventually, as you grow up, you're told that you ought to outgrow these things, that these things no longer provide value to your life. And I think that's the interesting thing. I think that's the core of what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about value. And how whatever small activity or hobby you enjoy, if it's providing value to your life, then it is absolutely worth doing still. And I wish I had held on to that longer or harder before I dropped it for something else. Going back on the topic of video games, the value that video games give you isn't necessarily tangible, right? You're not really going to develop skills or tools or abilities aside of that video game while doing it, where, say, practicing the piano or learning how to video edit or doing your homework, studying, picking up cognitive skills will help you out. But that's not to say that it is valueless. I think we've forgotten that productivity includes the break, includes the wind down, and the rejuvenation needed to approach the problem again. There's been a trend on YouTube and TikTok about individuals who are quiet quitting, who are recognizing their value, the value in their time, and where there was this expectation before this generation that going above and beyond is how you go up the ladder. When corporations and when companies saw this behavior become normalized, that everyone is trying to get ahead, so everyone is working doubly hard, they've come to expect that of people. And so they demand more of you, they demand more of your time, they demand more of your focus, and a culture began to build around or aside of that, wherein, take 3, if you were doing something that gives you joy but does not give you anything else, no monetary value, no physical value, no quote-unquote intrinsic value, then you were wasting your time. But a nap is not wasting your time. Enjoying yourself in a game isn't wasting your time. These are ways that you recollect yourself after giving yourself up to so many different things. And I find this important. I find it important to bring this up because I no longer enjoy video games anymore. That's not entirely true. I still stream them on my Twitch. I still enjoy doing them around you, but I've somehow reconciled that in my mind as my doing work for all of you. I'll play games sometimes that I don't enjoy very much, and I wish I had given myself the opportunity to enjoy games while I still had the chance. And I want to caution you all towards not developing a poor relationship with the media, with the hobbies that you have to keep you sane. Because you shouldn't feel guilty for adding an extra stitch and purl to your knitting, your crocheting. You shouldn't feel guilty for watching or making funny videos. You shouldn't feel guilty for the times that you let your hair down. We punish ourselves much too often for not driving ourselves like the way a corporate manager does a wage worker toward our end goal. If you still enjoy gaming, if you still enjoy watching funny videos or watching movies as another wonderful reprieve that doesn't provide value aside of your enrichment in watching it, which I guess is the same with games, right? don't feel guilty for treating yourself. Don't feel guilty for chasing happiness in these small ways, and don't let other people make you feel guilty for doing that. Because, like I said in the beginning, finding happiness in this day and age is so incredibly rare. Maybe not for some people, but for a lot of us, it is incredibly rare to be able to grasp and hold on to happiness for longer than a small, brief period of time. And that includes, and I'm going to possibly go into a space that people might not agree with me, but that includes buying things. I'm not saying be excessive. I'm not saying gain a debt, but I'm saying if you know that even briefly that item will give you happiness, then it is worth it. In that moment, it is worth it. Better yet, the way I buy things nowadays is, would I regret leaving this behind? And very, very often, 80 out of 100 views of different objects and items, I would say, I would not regret dropping this, coming back to the store and not seeing it again. But I found that occasionally there will be an item that touches me, that sort of hits to the very center of my being, and I cannot help but buy it. And often this is at Comic Con, because my travels out are somewhat rare, and I'm often most bombarded by consumerism when it is fandom media. But I will hang up these little keychains by push pins on my wall in my dorm room, and looking at them every now and then when I'm finished with the stream and lie back onto my chair and look about, looking at those things still grant me joy. They were definitely worth the $15 to $18 that the small acrylic keychain was. Not only am I supporting an artist, but I invested in my own joy and happiness. Again, this isn't a consumerism thing. This isn't a buy things to make you happy. But if you know it will make you happy, or if you have this suspicion, this great suspicion that getting this thing will enrich your life and make you enjoy yourself, then we should be pursuing happiness doggedly. We should be chasing after it in a world that seeks to crush you and fold you up and turn you into its origami crane, building its wish out of you. Ding ding, 10 minutes.